Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Better Together at Math with Shinrai Sensei. And today we are going over these two theorems that I have written on the board. They're very much stating the obvious, very just clearly somebody wrote down an observation they made. But if you ever are having like a rough day where it's difficult for you to focus on things, or you just you're out of it and you can't really think about it, sometimes it's good to have the obvious written down, so that when you're just way overcomplicating things or you're not able to focus, you can still have something that goes ahead and snaps you back to, oh, right, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. That's pretty much where these sit. These are very, like I said, these are as close to just flat out stating the obvious written down as any other, property of addition and stuff like that, where it says, oh yeah, so long as you're all of the things that you're doing in a math problem are adding, you can change it around however you want and it doesn't affect the outcome, right? So things like that where it really shouldn't need to be written down, but it is just in case, like I said, somebody's having a bad day, or for the people that are just learning these things, it might help them kind of get their foot in the door and so they can expand on their math knowledge. But the two theorems that we have today are midpoint theorem and angle bisector theorem. And basically these are referencing halfway points, right? So if C is the midpoint of AB, line AB, then AC is equal to 1/2 AB, which is also equal to BC, right? So segment BC, segment AC are both equal to half of segment AB. I probably better, just for the sake of proper annotation, put the little line segments over top of all those. But yeah, midpoint theorem basically says that this is equal to this because both of these are equal to half, since that midpoint cuts that in half. And I'm aware that C isn't really quite the midpoint in that, so forgive me for my poor art skills. Alright, and then we move on to the angle bisector theorem. And in angle bisector theorem, if segment DF is the bisector of angle EDG, then angle EDF is equal to 1/2 EDG, which is also equal to FDG, right? I know that having multiple equal signs isn't necessarily the most correct way to annotate these things, but it's to show you that if I was to rearrange all of these and have like 1/2 EDG and move EDF down here at the end and put FDG here, it's still true no matter what order I put these, because they're all equivalent, right? That's the main reason why, and it's to show you that if I was to get rid of this 1/2 EDG here, and we were just to pretend that it's EDF and FDG, then they're equivalent because they are both the same value, because they are both half of the original angle, right? It's kind of like if I was, both of these are like saying if I cut a birthday cake in half, right? I cut a birthday cake in half. Both halves, if I cut it perfectly down the center, both halves should be exactly the same, right? And let's say I go even further and I make sure the mass is the same, I make sure the density is the same, I make sure every single value of the two halves of that cake are the same. Then if I offer half of the cake to somebody, it doesn't matter which half they get, right? Because they are the exact same value. They are the exact same piece of cake. Obviously, people don't really work like that. People tend to think like, they're being ripped off or stolen from. But in a nice, clean, perfect world, and when you're actually looking at it objectively, yes, those two pieces of cake are exactly the same size because they are both half of the cake. I don't recommend eating half of a birthday cake in one sitting, though. Alright, so that covers these two theorems for today. Starting to kind of really work our way into proper geometry. If you guys have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. If you have a specific topic you'd like me to cover, please leave it in the comment section, or send it to my Twitter handle at ShinraiSensei15, Twitter or X or whatever they're calling it now. And I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Peace.